Well, it's July 21st, 2023, and I'm just going to do a short video on how our garden's looking for this year. We got a nice rain last night, so the garden really needed it. And what we have over here on the right hand side is our water tanks we use for watering when we don't get the rain. So but yeah, Marlene's been working pretty hard getting the tomato plants all strung up and off the ground. What we wound up doing was driving in some T-posts and using string so the tomato plants climb vertically up the strings. So yeah, here's our water. We got a tote that holds 275 gallons, and then there's a 200-gallon pickup truck tank that we're able to get water downtown here. It costs about $2.25 to fill those up, and it's been a good thing to have, because our one creek that's in the woods over here this time of the year can be dried up, and I can't pump the water out of it. So yeah, let's go in and take a look at the garden. Okay, I'm inside the fence now, and you can see all the T-posts we put in here, and how the tomato plants are clinging to the strings and climbing up. It keeps the leaves and everything off the ground, which helps save on the blight. Got a lot of tomatoes in here this year. We're not sure how many plants we got, but Marlene's going to be counting them. And past the tomatoes, we got some peppers. They're really starting to take off. They've gotten some blossoms now, and starting to really get greened up good. You can see all the blossoms on our tomato plants. And some of the different types are getting bigger than other ones, but they really, I'm surprised at how well they climb up those strings. Here you can see more pepper plants. Got a lot of peppers in. On this end of the garden, we got a lot of our cucumbers, different types of cucumbers. They've been struggling a little bit. Marlene found these little cucumber beetles that she's been vacuuming up with a hand vacuum to get rid of. Pretty neat little trick. But you can see some of the leaves are eaten up pretty bad. And some seed we have didn't come out, didn't germinate. We got all kinds of pumpkins and butternut squash. Then we got, they're called Blue Hubbards. Those things have just taken off like a shot. And more pumpkins. Couple of different variety of pumpkins. Here we're towards the end of the tomato plants, and this is all that Marlene's got left to string up here, and she actually prunes them up and does all the weeding around them, and then they wind up looking like that over there. So a lot of peppers. Here in this row we got the lettuce, a couple of different varieties of lettuce. We got some I believe there's, I think it's basil here. Few onions. We don't put in a lot of onions anymore. And Yeah, that little sign on there says that that's basil, and that's been doing awesome. This here on the end is called cilantro, and I'm not sure what that's supposed to look like, but it looks healthy. Here we got some broccoli in. That's been doing real well. And then there's this is a cauliflower, and that's been a little on the sporadic side. There's some beans down there. This is zucchini and summer squash in this row, and there are some little zucchinis in there. See if I can find, there's one right there. Nice little zucchini forming. A lot of blossoms. And down on this end, I believe, is the summer squash. Yeah, and there's even some little baby summer squashes in there. You can see they're developing. Quite a few of them in there. Love summer squash. And this is just a little short row of some string beans. They've been blossoming like crazy. And that row over there has some carrots in it, and I believe beets. Yeah, a couple different variety of beets. They're coming along pretty well. And then the last 4 rows are corn, which needs to be weeded. And but it's doing real good. We got it in a little late this year because the ground never got warm. We were having some pretty cold weather in May. As a matter of fact, at the end of May we actually had some frost. But we got the corn in, and it's doing really good now. It likes the water and the sun. Marlene put up these little streamers. Right now they're wet, but when the wind blows, they keep the birds and stuff away from the corn seed and that. It in the beginning, when you first plant the corn, when it starts to come up, the crows and other birds will come and pick the seed right out of the ground and kill the plant. So these things really worked awesome this year. It was a great way to keep the birds out of the garden. And then for the exterior on the fence portion, what we wound up doing this year was putting in some T-posts, and we put up what they call a 3D fence, where there's 3 main wires and then a single wire going around the perimeter 3 foot out. And so far that seemed to work pretty good. We did have one time where we had a deer in the garden, but not sure how he got in because he didn't take the fence down or anything. But yeah, so this is our garden on July 21st, 2023. And we got a little bit of cleanup here to do, and then I'm gonna run the rototiller down through just to get the soil turned back up again. And here you can see how nice the tomatoes are doing. They're blossoming like crazy, and in some spots you can even see some nice little tomatoes forming already. So they're really starting to take hold. You can see on some of these plants how big the stems have gotten. They're just really doing good out here. And Marlene and Melissa started these from seed, and then Marlene, like for the last 3 weeks before planting them, she was hardening them outside, putting them on the deck for you know, an hour at a time, and then increasing the time outside so that they would get hardened up. These are Roma tomatoes, and here you can see the nice little Roma tomatoes that have started forming. They're looking really good. So I guess I'll end this video right here, and just wanted to document our garden towards the end of July and that. So thanks for watching.